Percent, decimals, and fractions. Writing decimals as percents. Write each decimal as a percent. So the first method we're gonna use is the place value. Here, as you can see, we have 0.3 and the 3 is on the tens place. That means it's 3 over tens, and if we want to change it to percent, remember the denominator should be out of 100, so it's 100. So it'll be 30 100ths. That means it's 30%. Number 2, 0.43. So the last place value we have, it's on the hundreds place. That means it's 43 out of 100, which is 43%. Number 3, we have 2.65. Here we split it into whole numbers and decimals. So the 2 plus 0.65, and if you remember, 1 as a whole means 100. So if we have 2 wholes, that will be 2 times 100. That means that 2 equals to 200. And then the 0.65, we change it with the place value. Since it's in the hundreds place, the last number, the 5, that means it's 65 out of 100, which is 65%. So if we add them, 200 plus 65%, it'll be 265. Method 2 is by multiplying by hundreds. So if we have 0.7431, we multiply by 100, that means it's a multiple of 10. So you move the decimal point to the right, the number of zeros you have. So you have to move it 2 places to the right. So your answer will be 74.31%. Number 5, we have 0.023. That means we multiply by 100. So it means you move the decimal point 2 places to the right. So it'll be 2.3%. Number 6, 0.308. So it's 0.308 times 100. Again, you move 2 places the decimal point, so your answer will be 30.8. And the last one, 0.6005. Again, you multiply by 100, so you move the decimal point 2 places. That means your answer will be 60.05%. Now, writing fractions as percents. We have to write each fraction as a percent, so we're going to use 2 methods too. The first one is writing an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 100. Okay, this method you can only use it when you have fractions which denominators are factors of 100. For example, number 1, we have 4/5, so 5 is a factor of 100. That means we can multiply by a number and have 100 as denominator, so it's 5 times 20, so 4 times 20 will be 80. That means 4/5 equals to 80%. Number 2, we have 1/4. Again, 4. It's a factor of 100 because if we multiply 4 times 25, it will give you 100. So you multiply by 25 both numbers, and the answer will be that 1/4 equals to 25%. And the last one, we have 37/50. 50 is also a factor of 100. So if you multiply by 2, you will have 100 denominators. So 37 times 2 will be 74. That means 37/50 equals to 74%. Now, method 2 is using division to write the fraction as a decimal. And this method, you can use it with any fraction you have. Any fraction, doesn't matter if the denominator is a factor of 100 or not. you can use this method. So for example, 3/8, the 8 is not, the denominator is not a factor of 100, so that means you have to do the division. So you divide 3 by 8, and you will find that the answer is 0.375. That means this is a decimal, so you have to convert from decimal to percent. So you move the decimal point 2 places to the right, and the answer will be 37.5%. On problem number 5, we have 925. Even though 25 is a denominator, it's a factor of 100, you can still use the division method. So we divide 9 divided by 25, and you will find that the answer is 0.36. So this is a decimal. Remember, to convert from decimal to percent, you multiply by 100, so that will be 36%. And the last one, we have 3 20s. Again, 20, it's also a factor of 100, but you can also use this method of division. So we divide 3 divided by 20. The answer is 0.15. Again, that is a decimal, so to write it as a percent, with the percent sign, you have to multiply by 100. So the answer will be 15%. Now, earth science application. About 39/50 of Earth's atmosphere is made up of nitrogen. About what percent of the atmosphere is nitrogen? So we have to convert 39/50 to a percent. Remember here, the easiest way is if the denominator is a factor of 100, you just multiply both numbers by the same number. So 50 times 2 is 100, so 39 times 2 will be 78. That means it's 78%. So about 78% of Earth's atmosphere is made up of nitrogen. And finally, we have, this is a table with the most common fractions we use and their equivalent in decimal and in percent. So as you can see, for example, 1/2 is one of the most common. You should know that 1/2 equals to 0.5, which is 50%. Or that 1/4 equals to 0.25, which means 25%. And so on. 3/4 equals to 0.75, which is 75%. And so on. So we have by fifths, by fourths, by thirds. Also 1/3, it's one of the most common. 1/3, the equivalent in decimals is 0.3 repeating 3. This is very important. And in percent, you write it as 33%, 0.3 repeating. The one that repeats is the decimal part of the percent. Same as 2/3. The equivalent in decimal is 0.6 repeating, and if you write it as a percent, you write it as 66.6, and the one that keeps repeating is the decimal part. So try to learn these common fractions so you don't have to do process when you need to get their equivalent in decimals or percents. So any question you have, you can send me a message. Take care. Bye.